This very bad intro. Need to improve these. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So I'm Arhan and I'm an incoming freshman at UC Berkeley. So before we start the video, a few apologies. Firstly guys, I'm really sorry about my hair, the way they're just falling around randomly. I tried to shave them so that I look like a hot mess, but then I realized I'm neither hot or a mess. So that just was an epic fail and now I look like this. Secondly, I'm really sorry if this video seems slightly disorganized or really weird because I was wanting to do this for a long time, so I just finally hit the record button today and pray to God that it works out. So before we get into the video, just wanted to tell you guys, this is not me trying to brag. I'm not really trying to brag out here at all. I'm just trying to help you guys receive the best possible score on the ACT, discussing the tips that work for me. And yeah, by the way, I got a 36. Like, I know this face got a 36. Sounds unbelievable, but it is. I'll put the score out here or here. I got a 36 composite score on my ACT. My reading and science sections, I got a perfect 36 on those. But my math and English, I got a 35 each. My writing was an 8. So yeah, let's get into the video. Right, so this, by the way, guys, this is a part of my college prep series, which I'm trying to do. So we'll be discussing how I want to do Berkeley, Northwestern, Imperial College, and other universities. About the ACT, APs, other tests I gave, and so on. So if that sounds interesting to any of you guys, definitely hit the subscribe button and please hit the like button if you guys like this video and this helps you out. So the way I'm planning to do this video is pretty simple. I'll be splitting up into a few different parts. So we'll start with like proper study tips and all, the ones that will work for every standardized test. So this will help you guys out a lot. Then we'll discuss the resources I used, and then we'll go into like domain specific tips and tricks, like for the English, math, reading, science, and writing. We'll discuss them all in this video. By the way, so if any of you are like planning to give the SAT, so basic thing that you guys can still go through the video. You guys should go through this video because the SAT's content is very similar to the ACT's. It's practically the same. It is the same actually at the end of the day. So this can help you guys out too. I personally did the ACT because I was better on the online format and just preferred that. But yeah guys, so let's get into the video. I won't take too much of your time on this intro. Right, so let's start with the study tips. The number one study tip. This is like my favorite study tip. This is one I did not used to follow for a long time. When I started following this, my life changed. It literally changed. Study during the time you have the actual paper. So what does this mean? It's like my ACT was on a Saturday from 8 o'clock or 8:30 to 11:30, 12. So what I did was when I was preparing for the ACT, every day I used to study at 8 in the morning or 8:30, whatever the time was, to 11:30, 12 for sure. I used to put those 3 hours sitting that time. So the ACT is like, whoever is giving it knows it's 2 hours, 55 minutes. So I used to sit for that exact time with a 15-minute break also. You take that break. What this does is that it prepares your mind to think at that time. So it's like, normally I used to be like getting up at 8 o'clock. Sorry, I dropped my calculator. So sorry for that, guys. That will show you guys later on. But yeah, so normally I used to like get up at 8 in the morning and then, used to get ready and stuff. So what used to happen was, so if I had to give the ACT at 8 in the morning, I would have to get up at 6. And my brain would not be used to thinking at that time. So what this does, it basically prepares your brain to be thinking for the ACT, on solving those ACT questions during that time. And when you start giving your paper, your brain is already used to it on the final day. So you warm up far faster and you start hitting your questions really fast, I guess, if that makes sense. And yeah, the last time, the entire part does make sense, trust me guys. And you guys get an edge over someone who is used to waking up at 9 o'clock but is giving the ACT by waking up at 6 o'clock, is sleep deprived, brains not working, brains telling the body to go to sleep. You guys will definitely do far better than that guy. Yeah, so next thing you guys should definitely know is know what are you allowed to carry in the examination hall. Now, I know you guys would be like, this does not make sense, but it does. You guys have no idea the number of people I've seen outside the examination hall getting stressed because the equipment they've carried, be it the calculator, a scale, I don't know, the pencils for if you're giving the SAT or subject test or whatever is wrong. They aren't allowed and they're stressing out, but they do not have the correct equipment. Usually the examination center does have extra equipment which they give you, but it's better to have your own because you're more comfortable with it. And it avoids last minute stress, guys. You do not need that stress that time. Trust me, there's enough stress out there with a number of people giving the ACT and are discussing quantum physics. It happened to me. Literally, the guy next to me was discussing quantum physics with a friend, and I was getting stressed out because I did not know quantum physics. So, you do not need that stress. So, carry the proper equipment, know what all you're allowed to carry and get that. Number 3, stimulate test conditions. Much like the tip number 1, this helps you be prepared. So, you guys know what all you're allowed, right? So, just practice when you're working on your ACT, when you're practicing, use those things. Like, basically, you guys aren't allowed too much stuff during the paper. You guys are only allowed a couple of sheets of paper, 1 or 2 pens, 2 calculators, a scale. I don't remember, are we allowed to scale or not? I had a scale, so we probably are allowed to scale a protractor. Like, you guys aren't allowed a ton of stuff, so know what are you allowed and just use that to practice. Because originally, before the ACT, in a lot of papers, I used to practice a lot more stuff, right? So that gave me a false sense of security, which got lost in the paper. So this will really help you guys out on the last day, guys. Trust me, you guys will thank me on the last day when you guys know exactly what are you allowed to work with, and you're working with just that, and your partner is getting stressed out, the guy next to you, because he was used to having his iPad with him or something, and he doesn't have that now, so the guy is getting stressed. As a tip number 4, or this is, I think, the tip number 4, this kind of a continuation of tip number 3, is do not have your phone around you during your actual ACT paper. You guys are supposed to keep your phone away from you. It's in a locker room outside, or whatever it is. You guys can't take it inside the hall with you while giving the paper. So it's better to not have it with you when you're practicing, because it gives you a false sense of security. It just does, right? Having my phone's here, it's an old one, but yeah, just lying next to my laptop when I'm studying, and I can look at my phone, check the time and stuff like that. You guys can't do that in the actual paper, and it does have a little bit of an impact, I feel. I have seen it does. So leave it, keep it away from you, right? Give it to your mom or something and just let it be, and then practice. That's tip number 5, is very important. This is if you guys take away one thing, it should probably be the entire video guys should take away, but this is a really important tip. Know how to use a calculator. Guys, please know how to use a calculator. Oh my god, I cannot even imagine tell you guys the number of people that do not know how to use a calculator properly. I mean, I use a TI-Nspire CX2 calculator. What is it? Yeah, TI-Nspire CX2. And I knew how to use it. I got it a month or 2 in advance, and I learned how to use the calculator. Trust me, guys, this is a very big thing which a lot of people ignore. I have had so many friends call me up one day before the paper, be like, Adhan, dude, you have a calculator, right? You don't have a paper tomorrow. They're giving a subject test or the SAT or whatever. Can we borrow that calculator? And I obviously give it to them. But when I ask them how they went, they're like, we didn't know how to use a calculator at all. So know how to use it, right? Get it in advance, figure out the functions, go on YouTube and learn how to use a calculator. Your calculator, guys, is your best friend. Basically in the math section only you're allowed to use it, because the graph questions, you do not need to remember the formulas and come. If you forget, not an issue. Just plot the graph on your calculator and you are done. You can literally analyze it. You need to find the epicenter, there is an option for that. You need to find the focus, they have an option for that. I hope I use correct mathematical terms right now. I think I did, but I haven't done this stuff for 2 years, so do not blame me, guys. But yeah, it just helps, guys. So know how to use a calculator. Tip number 6, have a backup calculator. So this was my backup calculator, the FX991ES Plus from Casio. Now, this is a very good calculator. I've had this for 5 years, and this is a great backup calculator. If you guys want, definitely buy it. Both these calculators of mine would be linked in the description below. They're both really good calculators, guys, and invest in a good calculator and get it early, right? Or if you don't get it early, know how to use the calculator you'll be using. If you're borrowing it from a friend, ask him to teach you. Usually your friend won't mind teaching you the basics, and just see a few videos on YouTube and know how to use a calculator. Number 7, I think this is tip number 7. God, I'm losing count. I'll probably just start saying next tip soon, so bear with me, guys. I'm not this bad, but yeah. So tip number 7, record your mistakes, guys. So the ACT is a very predictable paper, and it repeats the same type of questions, especially math, English, science and reading. You guys still they're based on analysis, so you guys will definitely get different paras or something, but the basic analysis they'll want you to do will remain very similar to all the practice papers and all you would have done. So that is an important one, guys, right? So record your mistakes, take a spiral notebook, take a regular notebook, and when you solve any questions you get them wrong, so write it down. What the question was, what you did, what was the correct answer, and like let's suppose this is an English question. So you put a run on, you made a run on sentence, or you put an Oxford comma. So mention it out there that I put an Oxford comma out here. This was not supposed to be there. Do it like that. So this will really help you guys out. So it's like a basic thing. Only my English was really bad. I was really good with my math, science, and reading, but my English was really bad. I mean, my first thing, I think I hit a 23 or 24. That's how low my score was in English. But not my first attempt on the ACT, but my first like practice paper. Yeah, so what you guys do is just write it down in your notebook. So this really helps you out. Like over a period of time, your mistakes go down and your confidence builds up. Like one day before the ACT, I was going through my mistakes notebook, and I was like, from like making 40 mistakes or 30 mistakes or something in my first paper, I've come down to making 0 to 2 mistakes in my last few papers. So it's like, a really good confidence boost for you guys for the ACT, especially like the day before. You guys are like, stressing out, you guys are nervous. If that happens to you guys, like, try to calm down, rest, sleep. I mean, that's my favorite thing, to sleep whenever you're nervous or frustrated or anxious or whatever, just sleep. It's like amazing. But yeah, back to the main point. So record your mistakes. This really helps you out. Like if you have done it once, chances are you will do it again, and you don't want this to happen on the test day. So if it's recorded, you will see it again and again, and hopefully you guys won't make the same mistake, right? Have a thing that if I made this mistake once, I won't make it again. So it's like in the middle, when I like really got serious with my ACT prep, I used to make mistakes in English. Like I was getting 20 questions wrong daily for like 2 weeks or something. But all those 20 questions I got wrong, there were different questions. You shouldn't be making the same mistakes again and again. So like record your mistakes and review them frequently. Okay, so number 8, practice as much as you can. Now there are 2 types of practices you guys should be doing. One is proper test practice, like doing a full length mock paper on your laptop in a stimulated environment, like in 2 hours 55 minutes, finishing off your entire paper the way you would have to do it on test day. Take a 15-minute break in the middle also. The break is definitely a good idea. It is, in my opinion, at least. It helps you de-stress and all during the paper. And the second type of practice you guys need to be doing is it's like untimed practice. Like you have like a question bank of questions to do. Just start doing them. Like 1 hour, do as many questions as you guys can, and then see. The time practice is obviously like putting in the ACT mode, but the untimed practice is to review the content and to see how good you are with the content, and that is equally important. And guys, now the 9th tip, you guys have I think the 9th tip, but yeah, you guys have probably heard this a lot: quality over quantity. I'm pretty sure, right? This is a very common tip. Yeah, that is not true, guys. Quality over quantity is bullshit. Sorry for using that word, but yeah, guys, I do not believe in this one bit. It is quality and quantity. You guys need to do both. The quality over quantity is probably for the SAT, because the SAT is slightly less predictable than the ACT. So what happens is that you really can't predict the paper very well by doing like a multitude of questions. So that's why you guys go like towards quality, so that you guys know the content far better, so that if there's a new question in the paper, you guys have the domain knowledge to solve it. But the ACT is very predictable, guys. I mean, it is so predictable that I had done a lot of questions during my practice, and like one of the passages of English I'd done had actually come in my actual ACT paper in December, the one I'd given in 2019. So that really did help me out, right? Because I'd already seen that passage, so I had that confidence while attempting it, which just like gave me a confidence boost for the entire paper. This quality over quantity, I've never gotten this. Quality and quantity. Review the content very well, guys. Practice questions. Review it very well. Be thorough with it. Be as good as you have to give a theory paper on it. Like someone can ask you to define an Oxford comma. You guys should probably know it that well. But yes, quantity is equally important. They're like at equal level. I hope my hands are equal. But yeah, however much you focus on quality, you focus on quantity too. Do the questions, guys. Solve as many questions as you can. This is probably the mix of a 9th and 10th tip. Do as many questions as you can. So don't have a lower bound that I have to do minimum 1,000 questions, or don't have an upper bound that 5,000 questions is all that I want to do. Don't have anything like that. Do as many questions as you can. Right? Start doing, right? Find them online. There's so many books out there. right? Ask your seniors, maybe they have some extra books you can borrow and just start doing the questions out there. Right? Go online. There are like so many online extra questions out there. You guys have no idea. So just like, no, actually you guys probably have an idea since you're here, but you're preparing, so you guys should have an idea. But yeah, if you don't know, no worries. I've told you now. So just go online, Google ACT English practice questions free. Add free out if you don't want to pay for it, or if you're okay paying for it, don't add free, right? Just get the questions, do it. Don't have a low bound. Like during my own practice, I can guarantee you guys I solved over 5,000 questions. So yeah, that's a really important one, guys. Practice, 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 and really solve a lot of questions. So next I want to discuss a bit of the resources with you guys, the books you guys can use. So as I'll be mentioning the books, I only use 2 books. But yeah, these 2 books are really good and I recommend all of you guys get these. Get these one way or the other. These books are guys really good. So yeah, the first book is by Manhattan Prep, the 5-pound book of ACT practice questions. So this is book weighs 5 pounds and has over 1,000 questions. You have like a full section on English which have multiple papers in it, which are like 75 questions each. 5 passages, 15 questions. Same with math. You have like multiple paper types in it with 60 questions each. And with reading and science with 40 questions each. The way you guys want to do this book is like buy the book and start solving questions. Like if you guys are good at the math portion, start with the math, right? Review the content in English and then move to English. And same for science and reading. Like whichever section you're strong with, start with those because you know the content out there, so you guys are comfortable doing it. You guys have to do this book. Like this will give you guys confidence you guys need. Now, my English was really weak, so my focus was mainly on my English preparation. As for English, this is like the Bible for your English. Like if you guys are doing the ACT, the SAT, it does not matter. If you guys have this book, this is designed for the ACT, but this book covers the content perfectly. You guys like need to do this book for English. If your English is weak like mine, comment below and hit the like button. But yeah, if you guys don't want to do that, don't do that. But read this book for sure, or solve this book for sure. This is the complete guide to ACT English by Erica L. Meltzer. She also wrote the ultimate guide to stat grammar, which is good if you guys are doing the stat, do that. Sure, but do this book also. This is really good. I'm not sponsored by this book or any other book out here for the record, but I would love to be. But yeah, I'm not. Because, no one knows me. But yeah, so definitely do this book, guys. Like, I'll have both these books linked below in the description. You guys should do them, especially the complete guide to ACT English. Worth doing, guys. So now I'll want to discuss about a course you guys can do. So it's like, if you guys are like, self-study and all is really great, but I can't do self-study. Like I self-study for my entire ACT, so that wasn't me. But there are a lot of people out there. I have a lot of friends who are like, dude, can you recommend a really good course to us or something? So I haven't personally done this course, but I know the ins and out of this course. I won't say you guys can't get a 36 without doing this course, because you can. I didn't do the course, I got a 36. But if you guys need a course, this is the course to go to, in my opinion. This is so there's this organization known as On Course Vantage in India, and they have this thing known as a test prep division known as UPrep. So I'll try to put it out here, but it is definitely linked in my description below. So UPrep has these courses on SAT, ACT. So do the ACT course. Even the SAT course is really good. I can vouch for these courses. Definitely, though I didn't do them, but yeah, I've seen the content and they're worth doing, guys. Worth doing. So definitely do these courses. If you guys need a course, this is the course to go to. UPrep's ACT course. So contact On Course, contact the UPrep team and tell them that I want to do the ACT course. They'll probably give you a diagnostic test first to see how you are, and then they'll work with you. They'll have a personalized working plan with you. They do a lot of review sessions. They have a lot of practice tests. It's really up to you. This part I will not force on anyone. It's a really up to you thing, right? Some people are really good with self-study. Don't do the courses. Some people are really bad with self-study. They need a structured plan working for them. So do the ACT. Do this course, sorry. Definitely do the ACT, guys. So now let's get to this domain-specific knowledge. Let's start with English. So guys, English. You guys have 45 minutes in this section. You guys have 75 questions. That's less than a minute per question. The way this will usually work is one long passage or decent sized passage, 15 questions with it. That is the way it will be. Guaranteed 5 passages like this. First 12 to 13 questions would be based on the grammar and things like that, alternatives or what is the correct way to put this, things like that. The last 2 questions might be slightly analytical, but yeah, last 1 or 2 questions might be analytical, depends passage to passage, but yeah, at least 2 to 3 passages will have analytical questions. In my ACT sitting, all 5 passages had analytical questions at the bottom, so that's definitely there. the way you guys want to do this. So definitely, if you guys are using Erica, good for you guys. If you guys are using some other book, great. You guys really want to go through the content very well. You guys need to know what an Oxford comma is. You guys need to know what a run-on sentence is. The reason I specify these two is because I did not know these things at all. If you guys don't, it's easy to learn. If I could learn it, anyone can learn it. Just read through book. You guys will find a proper definition, a few examples, and you guys will get used to it. Right? You guys need figure out how to use pronouns, the possessives, like the apostrophes and so on. The different types of punctuation, colon, semicolon. Like, did you guys know that a semicolon works just like a full stop? It's like you can be like, hi, my name is Arhan, semicolon, I am 15 years old, or something like that. You guys can put that. It's the same as a full stop. Only difference is that when you put a semicolon instead of a full stop, you do not capitalize the first letter of the first word in the sentence. Right? But just like that, look at these specific things out there. You will find them in every book. Go through them and practice these very well. It's important, guys. Let's head on to the math section. Now, this was my favorite section, to be honest, guys, because I've always been really good at maths. If you guys are wondering how I got 35 in the ACT in that math section, we got a question on regression. We had a question on regression, and I had not seen it in any single book till date. I had not gotten a single question on regression. I didn't think I got in a question. I did not know what regression was. Stat wasn't really my thing because I'm in the science stream, so we tend to do more calculus than stats. But yeah, so I was steady stuck on this. That's how I got the 35. But the thing about the math section is, guys, your calculators are your best friends. Like, even if you guys are doing a 1 plus 1, use your calculators. Okay, not for 1 plus 1, but for like most arithmetic calculations, use your calculator. It's probably faster and your accuracy like far higher. I'm not sure why I'm still holding these up, but yeah. Definitely, right? Use your calculator really well. Now, here's a tip for the math section, which people don't really say too much, but yeah, I will tell you guys. Wherever there's a question on graphs, wherever, like even if they're drawn a bloody graph out there, right? You'll probably have an equation or something out there. Use your graphing calculator. Have one, know how to use the graphs on this, and just use it. Like, I remember there was a question in my thing which they gave me the equation of an ellipse, and I had to find the epicenter of the ellipse. Now, I hadn't done ellipse by that time in my school or something, so I wasn't very good with them, but I knew the formula. But with this, you do not need to know the formula. Just put in the equation. There's an option to figure out where the focus is, or where the vertex is, the epicenter is, and so on. You can even calculate the eccentricity without putting in, just like put in the formula. It will give you the eccentricity of the ellipse and whatever conical. I think conical shapes only they call them. I'm not very sure, but yeah, whatever figure you calculate for, it will give you the values out there. So use the calculator wisely, guys. It's a very good benefit having a calculator. So use it wisely. Right, a few topics you definitely look at for your math section. Trigno, not very advanced, basic trig. I feel even if you guys get stuck in Trigno, I mean, usually they have like they won't really tell you to go on the identities in trigonometry. I haven't seen them yet, but just know the basic identities, right? Sin A plus B, cos A plus B minus B, tan A plus B, tan A minus B. That's it. I think that much Trigno, that's like the maximum high level trig you need to know. Basically know that tan is sin by cos, secant is 1 by cos, right? And things like that. Know this basic trig and go. If they put values anywhere, use your calculator to solve it. Trust me, guys, calculator is your number one resource. Right, you guys should know how to calculate the area for most figures. Usually it's like things like length into breadth type stuff, but pi r squared, these basic formulas you guys should know. For the parallelogram, you have that height into base. Like this is a parallelogram. I made a very bad parallelogram, but yeah. So this is the height, the perpendicular into the base. Just know that, right? Or these two, you can just know the formulas for the area. I don't know why I'm doing this again and again, but yeah. Formula. So what else you guys need to know? A basic thing you guys should know is like profit loss, basic like selling and stuff like that. So this is technically not part of the content totally, but I think you guys should know basic calculus, like how to calculate the maximum or minimum of a function based using calculus. This saves time, but if you guys don't know that, no worries, you have your calculator. Put in the equation, graph it, you guys can find the maximum point, minimum point very easily, guys. Trust me. This is like the math section. I feel with the calculators, it's gotten very easy for you guys to solve. for all of us to solve. So it's like a boon. But yeah, let's go to the next section of the ACT, the break. So, and this is the most important section in my opinion. Not stay in the examination hall, go out, but get that fresh air, get that change in scenery. It will help rejuvenate your mind. It will help refresh you. To do which you guys will easily be able to focus on the next two sections of the ACT. Have some water. Actually, definitely have some water. Water is essential to us, guys. Water is really good. Have water for sure. Right? Have a snack if you have brought it. If you haven't, no issues. Just have some water and come back in ready to tackle the next two sections. So guys, the reading section. Now this is one of the toughest sections to crack in the ACT if you aren't good at reading. It's very simple. If you guys do not know, if you guys aren't good at it, this is tough to crack because it takes time to develop the habit of reading. You guys need to be in a habit of reading for this section, I feel. Now, I personally don't have any problem with this because I have been an avid reader for the past 10-12 years. So I didn't really have much problem. I've been reading everything, and which really helped me out during this because I wasn't really confined to a particular genre. So I enjoy reading anything. You have like 4 passages, 10 questions each, and 9 or 10 are going to be direct, guys. It's literally going to be what's based on the passage, right? Like the passage says that Joe was Steve's father, and there might actually be a question which is like, who was Steve's father? Joe, and 3 other names which are probably in the passage or something given. You select Joe and move on. That's how the question ends. One thing about this, guys. So as till you're getting the questions directly from the passage in this, it will be in order. So like let's suppose the first question was the first paragraph, second from the second, and you guys don't know where the third one came from. Right? I can guarantee you it won't be from the first or second passage. It'll definitely be on the third passage or fourth or so on. Sorry, not passage, paragraph. Sorry about that. But yeah, they come in order. Right? There'll be one slightly tougher question, which is like, what do you think was analytical thinking question? What was the purpose of the passage, or what happened? Something along those lines. Like, what was the deep insecurities that led for event X to happen by this person, or something along those lines, which is slightly more analytical. So spend some time on it, right? And guys, you have like 4 options. So definitely look at the 4 options and eliminate them. This really helps, I've seen, especially in these questions. It's like, sometimes like the answer won't be something, there'll always be one or two options which are obviously not the answer. Like, yes, and like one more thing I'll say about the reading thing. So you need to actively read the passage, not passively. So it's like it happened to me. Like the first 3 passages I read very actively. I was like figuring out everything that was happening. I was retaining the information and really solved them really fast. But the 4th one, I think, was really long, and that was a boring passage, the 4th one. Like, I'm defending myself, but it was really boring. I found it boring at least. So the last 2 paragraphs of the 4th passage, I read passively. I did not retain any information in that. So you guys don't want to do that. Then read it, pay attention to the passage, remember details from it. It will help you out. And that's the last tip I have for the reading thing. Heading on to science. Now this is one of my favorite sections again. I think I just said that for like 2 or 3 sections, but I do enjoy science a lot. So yeah, that's why I'm like, propagating it out here. So science, there's firstly, there are a lot of myths regarding the ACT. Most of them have to do with the science section. Like, it's more for science students. Not true, guys. Humanities kids can also do this. Now, I know this is more of a thing for India where you are like fixed stream, science, humanities, commerce. But yeah, and even commerce kids can easily do the ACT. The science in this is very basic. It's not even really science, it's like really analyzing the data. Just analyzing passages, why it's happening. The only suggestion I think I have for the science section, 1, read the passage, whatever information they're giving you well. Right? You guys can see the data. The data in these follows a very clear trend. Like, let's suppose it's like inverse relation somewhere, and one of the time is increasing, the concentration decreasing. Right, you have reached like time up to 5 seconds, and the concentration from 1 molar has fallen to 0.2 molar. Have fallen to 0.2 molar, and they're asking you what will be the concentration in 10 seconds. It's going to be less than 0.2 molar, and I guarantee you, the 4 options, only one will be less than 0.2 molar. That's your option. Go for it. This is to all my science friends out here. Grade 11, 12 science. Don't try to get your science logic into this. Like 0 to 1 to drop by this much, 0 to do this much, 0 to 5 will be by this much based on pattern. Doesn't matter, guys. Pick the one which is less than 0.2 molar. Simple as that. Now, lot of time there'll be a direct pattern also. Like you're increasing the time by intervals of 1, the concentration is following by intervals of 0.2. Let's say something like that. So do pay attention to that. If you are seeing in an option, like let's see the previous example only, where let's merge it to examples like the time is increasing, concentration is decreasing by 0.2. In 5 seconds, we have reached from 1 to, in 4 seconds, we reached from 1 to 0.2 molar, and you're going to find in 4.5 seconds. And the two options which show concentration below 0.2 molar, figure out the pattern. Every second, it's dropping by 0.2. So in half a second, it drop by 0.1. Hence, at 4.5 seconds, the concentration will be 0.1 molar. Only one answer like that, take it and go ahead. In this, guys, don't get worried if you guys see a passage which the concept of which you don't know. Like, I had so many of those, I didn't know the concept behind it, but the information they give, like the passage type, like the background information and the tables they give with the values and concentrations and this observational values like that is enough to make you, to help you solve all the 10 questions in every one of those passages very easily in 35 minutes. It's very doable, guys. There's nothing in this. Now heading on to the last section. This was like my worst section, the writing section. So the way the writing section works is they have like one background topic they'll give you, and they'll give you 3 viewpoints on that. It will be like a small passage and 3 smaller passages which will have like describe 3 particular viewpoints. Then be like, which viewpoint do you agree with, or do you believe in a mixture of 2 viewpoints, or a totally different viewpoint you have? Mention that. When you write the entire essay out there, you are like only 10,000 characters out there, so people who get worried that I write very lengthy, doesn't matter, guys. Trust me, you guys cannot write 10,000 characters in the time you have. You guys can't. The way you guys want to do the reading is quickly read the writing section. Is like quickly read the entire writing section, the information they're given, and start working on your essay. The way I used to attempt my essays was I used to like start by discussing the main topic they're given and putting my views in the first paragraph. Like whatever, I agree with viewpoint 1, viewpoint 2, mixture of 2 or whatever it is, or a totally different viewpoint 4. I used to mention in the first passage. Then I used to start describing my viewpoint in detail in the second paragraph. And I should really take 2 or 3 paragraphs of those, and I should put in examples. Yes, definitely put in examples. Make up examples and put in. Literally, it does not matter if it happened to you or not. Put in that real life example. Put in at least 2 to 3 of those. It will help boost your score. Trust me, it will help boost your score, guys. Trust me on that. But then what you guys want to do is you want to keep some time, like the viewpoints which you are disregarding, which you guys are against. But you want to put in one passage on one paragraph. I'm saying passage again and again on each of those. You guys want to put in one small paragraph on them, and just go ahead, right? That I disagree with this because of this. That's it. Just one small paragraph and go ahead. Then you have a very strong concluding paragraph. Talk about the original topic again, your viewpoint, and just sum up the entire thing. That this point was wrong because this point was wrong because this viewpoint. So these viewpoints were wrong because this, and this viewpoint is right because this, and that's it. Full stop. Read it. Just read it once so that you are comfortable with it. You can know there aren't any too many mistakes in it, and just submit it. Don't overthink this, guys. Now, if you guys are wondering, what should I do to prepare for the writing section? It's simple, guys. I've got you. Don't stress. Write whatever you can. All the school assignments your teacher gives you: newspaper writing, article writing, this writing, that writing, debate writing. Do those. It helps you develop your writing skills, right? It's important. What you want to start doing is find a topic online for the ACT, preferably a past ACT topic, so where you guys are used to reading the viewpoints. The viewpoints usually are very similar, very positive, moderate point, very negative. That's the way most of the viewpoints tend to go, I've seen. So, figure out which one you're better at writing. In most cases, stick to that. Your writing skills are better. You guys know those action words required for a particular viewpoint better than the other two. I guarantee you guys that. For me, I usually prefer the moderate viewpoint because that was kind of me, I could really tone down, because the best thing on the moderate viewpoint I felt was I could tone down the viewpoint 1 and 3 to help support the moderate viewpoint's point of view, which helps out. I'm not sure the last one made sense, but it helped me out for sure. So maybe just listen to it again and hopefully it helps you guys out too. So I think that's it for the ACT guide. yeah, my ACT gateway. Wow, I am really coming up with amazing things out here. So if you guys like this video, you guys found this helpful, please subscribe for more such videos on other standardized tests, college admissions, vlogs maybe if you guys are interested, and so on. Definitely subscribe, guys. Like the video, please, if you guys found it helpful. Like, yeah, not sure if I did that, right? And if you guys have some particular video in mind you guys would want me to do, drop it down in the comments and I will definitely do it if you guys want it. If you guys have any particular specific questions regarding my ACT or anything else, even my application for UC Berkeley, if you guys are applying, just DM me on Instagram. My Insta will be linked below. Follow me on Instagram, right? And yeah, and that's about it, guys. And by the way, like whoever's giving the June ACT, just hit me up if you guys have any question or whatever. I will be there to help you guys out. And you know, if you guys are giving the June ACT, just mention in the comments. I want to see how many people are actually giving it. So, peace out. Yes.